wakey.
Welcome back to I'll Make a Stay Out of You, the podcast where I, Phil, almost don't make it here in time to show Stray Kids to my friend Tom, except we're not doing anything Stray Kids really related tonight. But Tom, how are you doing?
I'm good. I had to stifle my laughter because the intro on Discord messed up again. And so
Oh no.
we heard the first like 2 seconds, if that, and then nothing. Like it went completely silent, and then we heard I forget what else, but there was a little bit of something else, and then the knocks, and then silence, and then wakey. That's it.
Oh my god. What is wrong with this Discord?
Yeah, I don't know.
What if I wanted to make a joke and just play this sound?
Do you have crisp turned on?
I don't.
In any capacity.
I don't have it as like a third party anything. So
Well,
all I have it is through,
look, I don't know what to tell you.
Tom, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, this has been an interesting week for me.
Oh yeah.
I was voluntold for a class, a course.
All right.
It wasn't so bad. It actually ended up being better than I expected. I had to go to this class called Advanced Leadership Development course, and where basically we just talked about a bunch of different like leadership skills and traits and how to, I don't know, like man, I kind of forgot a lot of it already because.
Oh, well, that's good. That's important.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing about it is that we had to do this introduction where we had to like interview the person across from us at because there were 5 tables and like 4 people to a table. And so we had to like interview the person across from us and like, find out who they are, where they're from, why they joined. And the last question is, what is your favorite superhero? And everyone's answers, there's like, cause there was one table where there was 6 people. So there were 22 people total in the class. And so there was a mix of Batman, Superman, Deadpool.
Oh my god!
And I think that was pretty much it. Oh, and one person said Wonder Woman, but like all like pretty classic superheroes, right? I said Hancock.
The Will Smith movie?
Yeah, the Will Smith movie.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. It's so good.
Well, because like, I don't know, that's the first thing that came to mind when they were like, what's your favorite superhero? Me, as someone who does not have a favorite superhero,
right.
I was just like, Hancock's good because he's a reluctant superhero, right? Like he's got the skills, but not the desire. And that's kind of what makes him unique. And I appreciated that aspect of the movie. When I watched it, I was like, this is a superhero movie, right? He's reluctant. And that's what I said because like I was one of the last people to be introduced, so we got all the way around the room of all these fucking like unoriginal Batmans and Supermans, and then the guy introducing me is like, and his favorite superhero is Hancock. And the chief running the class is like, Hancock, the drunk Will Smith superhero.
Actually dying. Oh my god.
And and I was like, yeah, because he's reluctant. Like me, And
okay, all right. Yeah.
And he was like, okay. And then like we took a break after that. And then when they came back in, like we're all sitting there like waiting for the class to actually like kick off. And that chief walks in. He was like, "Who was the guy that said Hancock was his favorite superhero?" And I was like, me. And he's like, "All right, well, you're class leader now." And I was like, "No."
Oh, no. You made yourself stand out.
I
How
did.
foolish of you. You should have just
did.
said Superman.
I know. Yeah. So I was appointed. I should have.
Hey, Hancock, come here and help me with this.
Yeah. So they made me class leader, and then, which was fantastic. I got to lead the class every day, and at the beginning in the reciting of the Sailor's Creed. So cool.
Oh, great.
And
this is definitely one of those moments. It's like Office Space, but in the Navy, where they're like, he is a straight shooter. He's going somewhere. We need to make him. He's officer material.
It actually is. That's my whole Navy career, is just people being like, he's good. And I'm like, I don't want to be perceived. Please.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
So
That's
yeah,
funny.
I was the class leader. I had to write all the rules. So initially we came up with our own class policies or whatever, and one of them was that we would take an hour lunch. But on day 2, we were like, because they give us the lesson plan that says like all of the like sections of the class that we're going to cover. Throughout the day and like on which days. And we were looking at the schedule. It was like coming up on when we would take lunch, and everyone was on break, and the chief was like, "Hey, so, do you want to go to lunch or like what?" And I was looking at the schedule, and I'm like, I mean, honestly, if we just skipped lunch, like we could just fucking blast through this shit and go home early, right? And they're like, "Yeah, if that's what you want to do." And so I went up to the board where we had written the rules, and I crossed out 1 hour lunch and I wrote no lunch. and then the whole class comes back in, and I was like, "Hey, class, just so you know, I made an executive decision. We're not taking lunches anymore. We're just gonna do the course material and go home." And they were like, is this not a democracy? And I was like, "No, I'm a tyrant. I'm a tyrant, and you will do what I say." And they were like, everyone's like, "Yeah, well, I mean, sounds good. Yeah, I'd rather go home early, right?" And I was like, "Okay, but for real though, if anyone has any objections, like, see me after class."
That's great. That's great. I think if it was, I was thinking about it because of course, and I was like, if somebody asked me what my favorite superhero was, of course, as you say, I don't think I have one. So right. I would probably say something like Saitama.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah.
One Punch Man.
Yeah.
And because that's a funny answer, I think.
Yeah.
And then if they're just like, that's not a real superhero. And I'm like, well, you could beat any of your superheroes in one punch.
In one punch, yeah. Yeah. It would definitely out you as the weeb, though. I feel
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's never
fair.
That's never been a hidden fact about me.
Yeah. Weeb outed. Yeah, my I wasn't trying to be like, "Oh, I'm different." It was just like the first thing that came to my head, and I was like, "Yeah,
that was
sure."
the first
Hancock. Yeah. and then it backfired, I guess.
Wow.
So
it really did.
But anyway, so yeah, it was pretty sweet though, because the class is all right. The instructors, they definitely made it more interesting than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, we went home we went home at like 11 or 12 every day. So
nice. I mean, that's good.
It's pretty sweet.
You really made some progress. I like that.
Yeah. We got in at 8, right? And then we left at the first 3 days we left at like 11:30. And then the last day, because we each had to do like this 5-minute presentation on like leadership philosophy, and like we had to pick a famous leader from history or a current mentor of ours or someone that we've interacted with that like to talk about like their leadership style and how it relates to ours. And so like it was pretty short though. Like I typed mine up the night before, of course. And
Yeah.
it's just
Typical.
talked about some leadership traits that I find admirable. And then so we all had to do that, which took a little bit longer because there were 22 of us. So
yeah, fun.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Not bad.
Not bad. Jeanette and I are going to a concert tomorrow. But the last time we tried to go to a concert, we ended up leaving early because the kids were just not sleeping. They went to stay with their grandparents' previous house, and the kids were not going to bed. And we like left early, drove all the way there, and then when we pulled in, we get a text that's like they're asleep. So, so that was cool. But we don't have that option anymore because Jeanette's parents moved farther away from us. So instead we had to like make it a whole thing where it's like they're spending the whole weekend with grandparents. And so we were going to drive down, meet them halfway, because they live, almost 2 hours away, and we'll meet them halfway, have dinner. And then, the kids would go with the grandparents back to their house. We'd come back to our house, record this episode. This is what we're doing right now. We've fully caught up to the present. And then tomorrow, so we have the whole night to ourselves, no kids, all day tomorrow, no kids. And then we'll pick them up on Sunday. So we are kid free for like an entire day, one whole day. Which is great. That's going to be fun because that does not happen very often, and it's going to happen even less often than it used to, which was never, because they're further away. So, but we're going to enjoy it while we can. However, so we got everything packed. We got the kids in the car. We did all the things, and I had picked this place because they had chicken fried steak on the menu. And I was like, fuck yeah, chicken fried steak. So I picked a place in the town where we were meeting. And we got there. We got there a little bit before Jeanette's parents did. And we're looking at the place. And first off, the parking lot is packed full of cars. And the actual building for this like quote unquote restaurant was tiny. And I suddenly realized like, oh, it says restaurant and bar, but what they mean is this is a bar that has food. And so like we can't take the kids there. So then I'm like frantically pulling up Yelp being like, we got to go somewhere. The kids have not eaten dinner. Like we need to eat.
Yeah.
So I pull up and I'm like, there's a fucking chicken place right down the road. It's like 1 minute away. We'll go there. And Michelle suddenly is like, I have to pee. And we're like, no problem. We're going to get to the place we're going in 1 minute. We go down the road. This is how you know this is small town Texas, right? I pull in to, I'm like, I don't see this place. And so I pull into, like, I'm following the maps, I pull into the shopping center or whatever that it's supposed to be in. And I'm like, there's nothing here. And then I'm like, I look over and there's a gas station right next to us. And I was like, oh my God, it's the chicken place in the gas station.
Yeah.
And it really was. And so I was like, well, we can't do that. I'm not taking the kids into a gas station chicken place. So then I'm like frantically searching for another place to eat.
Yeah.
And like a couple minute drive up the road was a Mexican and Cuban restaurant. So we start driving again.
Restaurant?
Yeah. Well, I hope so. So we start driving again, pull in there, we get, it looks legit. It looks like a bigger building. Mm-hmm. So we said, all right, this is the place. And we walk in and I look around and I see that they have like a big open dining area. They have kids menus. I was like, oh, fuck yeah. We fucking nailed it this time. So we finally made it to a restaurant that would work. And so that's when I started messaging you being like, it's like 7:00. I don't know if we're getting back on time. So
yeah.
And so I was just like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. So we ordered our food and everything. We started eating, and Logan dropped. They gave him like a styrofoam water, and he was just like excited talking about something, and he just like smacked his fucking water so hard, and it like fell on the ground, and because it's a styrofoam cup, it literally like broke in half. And so there was no like getting it back together, and like Jeanette, like there was like little teeny tiny napkins, but there was nothing to like clean up a big spill.
Yeah.
And so Jeanette, like, you know, sees a bus boy, right? Like bus man, I don't know, bus boy. I don't know, whatever, a bus person.
Yeah.
Is there anyway? Anyway, so she
Bus man.
yeah, you know,
Bus person.
bus person. So she's like, hey, I'm so sorry about this. I tried to clean this up, but it's just like there's too much water. My son spilled his drink, and he starts to walk, and she thinks that he's like gonna go over there, check out the situation, figure out what he needs to do, right? And so she's like still talking, and she's like, yeah, you know, he just, you know, knocked it over by accident. It just broke into a million pieces. Meanwhile, this guy just walks off. He doesn't walk around her. So Jeanette like turns thinking he's going to be on the other side of her, and the guy just never appears. And I was like, he's gone. So then our waiter comes back, and we're like, hey, our son knocked over his water. It exploded everywhere. There's a big spill here. Well, I'm really sorry, you know.
Yeah.
And so we tell our waiter, and he's like, all right, gotcha. And so he like grabs the cup, and he grabs like a couple of napkins so he can put the cup on it, the cup itself, and then like carries it back to the back. And when I just figure, okay, like he's gonna get like a wet floor sign and like tell someone like, hey, like could you like get a mop or a towel or something, right? So he leaves, and he's gone for like a while. And I'm like, man. And yeah, bus man did not come back for a while. So there's this other waiter, and we're like where my chair is, it's like backs up to a window. So there's a teeny tiny little path behind my chair. So there's no reason anyone should be walking there. But a waiter does, a different waiter.
Okay.
And he's like marching like there's no big deal, and he fucking slips in the water, and he like reaches out his arm and barely catches himself on one of the chairs. He's like, whoa. And then finally this guy, this fucking third guy, leaves for a moment, gets a wet floor sign and puts it there.
Oh my God.
And I swear the entire time, so all the other groups that were around us, there were a few other people eating and stuff. They were all there before us. They all leave. During all of that time, nobody cleaned that spill.
Jesus Christ.
We tried. It was, yeah. I don't know. And when you see like a waiter confidently walking towards the spill, I thought, oh, this guy's going to go check it out. You know?
Yeah, this man's on a mission.
Yeah. And
for
instead
water
he's like,
cleanup.
Yeah.
Oh
it's just, I don't fucking know. It was crazy. And then after we were done eating, which it was okay. I mean, I had a chimichanga, you know, it's pretty good. I love it. Love a chimichanga, but it was not crisp enough. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
When I get a chimichanga, I want it to be crisp. Well fried. Yeah. Also, I assume that if Jeanette's dad ever listens to our podcast, he will not have listened this far in, but he kept mispronouncing things in ways that I was like, are you fucking with us? You've lived in Texas for almost your entire life.
Yeah. Texas, California, right? So
yeah, and he said, yeah, I think I'll get that with the tomatillo sauce. Oh. Tomatillo, what the fuck?
Wow.
Tomatillo, you know.
No, it's clearly tomatillo. There
was another, I cannot remember what it was, but there was another, it was also a double L word that he was just like, oh, instead of
Portala.
I couldn't tell if he was really just like trying to be funny or not, but he was saying it to the waiter, so that made me feel. I know. I just. Oh no. Oh my God! I can't even pronounce the way that he said it. Jeanette's right. It is that, but he was like, Releno. Oh, they have chili Releno.
Oh.
And I was like, are you fucking, like, literally, this is what happens, right? I look up immediately, look at Jeanette, and she looks at me back going, like, oh. Releno. Yeah.
Releno.
Like Jay Leno. You get it.
I like how the resident Mexican is like fucking huge objections.
Yeah. Now, I will say the one that I love to mispronounce is quesadilla because I watched I was one of the, I'm going to assume like 10 people who watched Dumb and Dumberer.
Okay.
The one where the characters are in high school and are not played by Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Or
never saw it.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what I'm talking about. Nobody's seen it but me.
Yeah.
So, but there's a scene in it where there's like, I don't know, the principal of the school is talking to some lady and she's reading the lunch menu. I don't know why, but she says like, with a cheese quesadilla. But so like, it's like the best worst way I've ever heard it pronounced, because she still gives it the flair of going E, but still uses the full L.
Yeah.
Quesadilla. Anyway,
wow.
I'll fucking pull a clip. Don't make me pull a clip. I'll do it. God damn it. Yeah. Anyway, tonight.
Yeah. So that's your transition.
That's the story. Yeah. Well, okay. I mean, all right. I mean, that's my transition. Anyway.
Right. Yeah. So, so a white guy from Texas can't pronounce words in Spanish correctly. Anyway, so we're going to be watching the Nizi Project.
Yeah, that's how it goes. You know, I don't know. Yep.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine, right?
Well, okay. So, you know, I'm not trying to defend Jeanette's dad or anything, but sometimes don't you feel weird, even though you know how to say a word properly in you know, like the way that you're supposed to in that language? Don't you feel a little weird saying it? And that's the only word that you use or way that you say certain words. Yeah, like
put the stank on it.
Yeah. I saw a TikTok like the other day, and I'm sure other people saw it, where it was like this guy is like, you know, if you were a French person in France and like you spoke nothing but French, but the only thing that you said differently was like McDonald's, you know, and you said it in like perfect English, like American English, and that's it. Don't you think people would like think you're weird? And that's the same way that like if you speak nothing but just perfect American English but you're like croissant, you know, like people are like, shut the fuck up, you know, like should you just say croissant? No, I'm not saying you should say quesadilla or yeah, it's like you're showing off. You're like, oh, I know this fucking language. As someone who's like definitely not fluent in it, you're just like, yeah, let me get the quesadilla.
Yeah, I as somebody who took Spanish classes for probably about 8 years and then stopped using it for a long time, I understand enough to know how to pronounce a thing correctly sometimes, most of the time, and will not. But I will do the closest white approximation for that reason.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Because I don't want to I'm not gonna try and, you know, use an accent or whatever. Speaking of weird things that did happen though, I did forget to mention, for some reason, among all the people there, the waiter only referred to me as Senor.
Okay.
He was like, Senor, What do you want? And I'm like, this, but not Jeanette's dad. He did not get a senor.
What was he? What's older than senor? I don't know. Spanish.
Papi?
Like he just rolls up. Hey, papi, what you want? You want the tomato sauce?
Yeah, could happen that way. I don't know. I was like, was this, he was giving me respect because I was wearing a Mario shirt? Is that what was going, is that what was happening? I don't know.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a bad thing. It felt like, yeah, I don't know. Anyway.
Maybe he thought you were cute.
Maybe he thought that I spoke Spanish. He took one look at me and was like,
Mooney, you actually didn't know what we were saying? Yeah. Senor is the opa of Spanish. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. I fully understand this now.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, we are going to watch.
If you didn't know anything about Spanish, just know that if you call someone senor, it's like saying opa in the Spanish community.
Yeah. You said it. Anyway, we are going to watch the Nizi Project.
This is a misinformation podcast.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, we are two white guys that have a podcast. What would we be without misinformation?
Man, okay. Yeah. We need to make a new podcast. I'm not saying abandon this one. I'm just saying we need another project. And
that's what we need.
But
it's another project.
But this one, I want to, it's a social experiment that I want to do because it seems like a lot of really popular podcasts are just two dudes talking or maybe more than two, like maybe it's 3 or 4 or whatever. But what they do, the most clout they get on social media is from like these ridiculous positions that they claim are like core thoughts of theirs. Like, man, I can't think of an example right now, but I see a lot of TikToks from the Basement Yard, right? I think that's the name of the podcast.
I love the Basement Yard.
I love it too.
They get a pass.
But there's another one also that is like, I feel like I've mentioned it before. I feel like their whole thing is just trying to be the Basement Yard, but
like they're faking it.
Yeah, but they suck,
Right.
And right. A lot of those are just like really weird, outlandish takes on things that I'm like, there's no way they actually believe that, and they're probably just doing it for the clout, right? And I want to do that. I want us to have a podcast where just every episode is one of us saying some fucking weird shit and then talking about it for 30 minutes.
You're describing the opening of every episode of this podcast.
Yeah, but everything we say is legitimate. It's true. It's how we feel.
Oh, I see. So you want to lie?
I want to lie.
We want to have the lying podcast.
Yeah. I want to lie. I want to say like I want to claim that I don't know. Peanut butter is. I can't even think because I'm not that stupid. I don't know. I gotta write down some ideas on like.
Have you seen the clip? This isn't two white guys, but have you seen the clip of the guy who was like, what animal do you fear the least? And the guy goes, a fish, and he's like, I said animal.
Oh yeah,
he's like, a fish is an animal, and he's like, no, it's the. Are you calling me an animal? Yes, you're an animal, right? Like I've seen it so many times on my For You page. Yes,
that is that.
But it
podcast.
Seems manufactured, right?
Yes.
Like it seems totally manufactured.
Yes. Yeah. Oh. The other TikTok trend that I hate right now is the name a woman trend.
Oh yeah, that's annoying.
Oh my God. Just like I get it. Like it's like every other fucking TikTok is like, hey, name a woman. And I'm just like, shut the like, why is this a trend? What is so spectacular about this?
No, dude, this is
trend?
It's how often you think of the Roman Empire all over again. Because they're just getting positively reinforced by people who do say the right thing. Like that's all that's like, just like any other, you could make a new trend tomorrow that's like, ask your wife what her favorite superhero is, and she'll definitely say, you know, Ripley from Aliens.
Yeah.
And like, if you get one person to actually say that, then, you know, people will be like, oh, it must be true. And then, yeah, I don't know. It's just a self-reinforcing trend, because the people who do agree or do the thing post about it, and the people who don't post. So you don't see the post being like, bullshit, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
So anyway. Right. Anyway, we're gonna watch speaking of bullshit, we're gonna watch the Nizi Project. We've promised it, and I'm excited to see JYP's bad takes. But first, I gotta get something to drink because I haven't had anything to drink since I ate dinner.
Go get some water.
I'm gonna grab some water, and Anna was a woman, and then I'm gonna get maybe I'll get another drink. I don't know, something. I'm gonna get something. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'm not gonna take too long.
Yeah.
Because the recording is going.
We are recording.
Yeah.
We are recording. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I'll make it interesting for everybody. Probably not. I don't know. I'm just gonna mute my microphone. So how's everyone doing this evening / morning or afternoon or whatever time it is for you? I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. I ate some cashews earlier and they were good. Playing WoW Season of Discovery. Yeah, what do you think of it, Phoenix? Because I am kind of disappointed with it. I'm not going to lie. I was hoping that it was going to be more exciting, that it was going to be like a lot more interesting to hybridize, your classes and like discover more things. But it just feels like, to me, they took a couple things that either currently exist in retail or have existed at one point in retail, and then just like put those into classic. So it's like not that great in my opinion. Like, I'm playing Paladin, and so one of the things that I need to go get is Divine Storm, which exists in retail. So it's like I'm just playing a retail version of a retail Paladin that's just shittier and can only be level 25, So I don't know. What are other people saying? Better than Monday, let me tell you. Okay, fine. Tell me then. Yeah, no offense. That's fine. Yeah, it's about it's about a particular video game called World of Warcraft, and there's a new version of it out right now called Season of Discovery, where they took the original version of WoW, the one that released 19 years ago, and they are like doing like this trial run kind of thing. Welcome back, where the max level is 25 versus 60, and you can like get different abilities for your character by doing special quest lines and stuff that like you wouldn't normally get. And it's kind of neat, but at the same time,
execution's a little rough.
Yeah, the execution is not as great as I was expecting, because there is a I assume pretty popular private server, which is illegal to do, right? But there's a pretty popular private server called Ascension, I think, that is like kind of the idea that I think inspired Season of Discovery, which is that like rather than being limited to a class and their class specific abilities, you just level a character and you can get whatever abilities that you want. So you can hybridize your character that way. So you could be like, cool. You could be like a warrior that has mage spells. And that's what I thought that they were going to do. when they were talking about Season of Discovery, I was thinking, oh, okay, so I can take abilities from other classes and weave them into the class that I'm currently playing to make it kind of unique and different from what everyone else is doing. But that's not how it works. The way that they implemented it is there are like, 5 different abilities that you can go get that everyone has. It's the same for everyone playing that class. And it doesn't make your character unique at all. It just gives you a little something extra that isn't in the regular game. So I don't know. It's kind of lame.
It's pretty lame. I wish, I don't know. I already told you that I wish that there was more like guide posting so that you would know like, oh, like even if it was just like, we've heard about these runes in Westfall. And so at least they would give you a zone to be like, okay, there must be a rune I don't have in Westfall. And then you'd go to Westfall and do quests there and see if you could, because like a lot of times I've started to like, I went to Westfall because I was running out of quests in Lochmadon and I found the first part of like a 2-part thing to get a rune for my mage, and I was like, oh, this is awesome, and I just like stumbled on it. I didn't look it up. And that was kind of cool, but I had no breadcrumb that took me there. I just kind of went there. So I do wish that existed a little bit. Yeah. If they're going to do it this way. But I like the idea. What you're saying is that like, what if you just went out into the world and did things and, that's how you got it. And maybe they'll implement something like that in the future. I mean, they're just testing it out, seeing how it works.
Yeah. Yeah. The breadcrumb thing, I think definitely like should, if it's going to be structured like it is, there definitely should be a breadcrumb kind of system involved because I don't know how people figured it out already, like how all the runes got figured out, but like the Divine Storm rune, you know what the first part of that like discovery chain is? There is a tower, an unmarked tower, in Darkshore, in like the northeastern part of Darkshore, full of like level 20 plus mobs. And if you go to the top of it, there's an orb. And if you right click on the orb, you loot it. You loot the orb. That's it. It's not a quest item. It's just an orb that you get, that you loot. That's the first step to getting Divine Storm.
Did you ponder it? Did you ponder your orb?
Yeah, that's it. It doesn't even tell you anything after that. But that is the first step, is getting that orb.
Wow.
It doesn't tell you what to do next. You just loot it. That's it. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I mean, the one that I have at least tells you like you need to get an elemental core or something that. Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay. There's elementals around. I probably need to kill one of those when I get to a higher level. So
yeah. It'd be cool if it was like a Path of Exile type system where you just get like rune drops and you like sock out those runes and so you get.
That's kind of what I want. I want it to kind of be like okay, what if you had no class and you were just a character, like you were saying, and you would just get like a random item drop, like they have Diablo, like do a season like Diablo does a season where there's lots of different things and you just go based off of what your drops are to kind of customize your class.
Right.
That would be awesome. I don't know.
And make it unique.
Anyway. Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing that is like the most disappointing is that
everyone's the same.
Everyone's the same, right? Every warlock is playing a fucking meta build, right? Every paladin is going Divine Storm. Like there is no unique. It's just everyone's the same still. It's just a little bit different. It's like okay, pretty lame.
I mean, the one unique thing for mage would have been to do mage healing, but they nerfed it, and so it sucks. So there's no point in doing the thing that's new. So
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm enjoying just the idea of being out in the world, and having lots of players around and stuff. Like it's like a cool experience just to, because I'll just be like fighting some things and somebody will just like toss me a group invite and then we just go wreck some stuff together for a little bit and he's like, oh, cool, thanks, and then that's it. Like it's just nice to have that aspect of existence again in World of Warcraft, because it's not really a thing too much these days.
Yeah.
The sharding is kind of bullshit, but yeah, I was killing some enemies earlier today, and I killed one and I needed to go loot it and I started to walk towards it. And then suddenly like 4 players appeared in front of me and the body disappeared.
Oh, cool.
Like I went to a new shard and I was like, but I wanted that bandana.
Yeah. And we're back to classic loot drops where it's like, go collect, like knoll teeth.
Right.
But the one drops every fucking 30 and you have to eat and drink after every single kill because you suck. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Anyway, let's find out how bad JYP is, shall we?
Hey, speaking of how bad JYP is on that playlist that you had called Our K-pop Songs or whatever, I took a peek at some
3 JYP songs
songs on there. Yeah.
Here's what it is.
Okay.
What that playlist is, and I'll tell you right now.
Tell me.
That playlist is the playlist that Jeanette and I started putting together. It was a shared playlist, and it was for us and the kids to listen to songs that we heard while we were watching the Nizi project before we were into Stray Kids. So that's why it's not called like our Stray Kids playlist. Like it has one Stray Kids song on it, which is God's Menu, and that got added pretty late into the playlist because it's at the bottom.
Wow.
So isn't that amazing? It's like a blast from the past. and you're going to get to hear some other JYP related songs right now when we watch the Nizi project episode 2 part 2.
So excited.
If you remember the last episode, JYP called someone fat and then waitlisted them.
Oh yeah, and then waitlisted them. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
In more than one way.
Oh yeah. It was awful. And we ended that episode. I like because that was our last episode that was released to the world, and I listened to it, and we ended on like a bit of a cliffhanger because I don't think anyone from part 1 of episode 2 made it through, and you were like, what's going on? And so so now we get to find out what happens in part 2. Let's do it. I'm gonna be real.
I'm feeling JYP right now. that look right there was. Ooh. How do I tell you? She's very passionate.
I'd love to do karaoke with her. She's getting waitlisted.
Just say no, dude. It's okay. You can say no.
A few moments later.
Oh, they send them to a different room so she can't come back and be like, I fucking got it. Woo!
Yeah, right. Yeah. Apparently, unless you get eliminated or waitlisted, because that other girl went back to a waiting room and was like, I guess I'll just pack my shit.
Yeah.
JYP's like, maybe I should rethink eugenics. Maybe eugenics is right. He's like, your dad, famous singer, your mom, model. So naturally, you're very talented. And I'm like, her answer to that was really good of being like, no, I'm not special. I'm just working hard, working my ass off like everyone else. He's like, nah, I see the talent. I'm like, JYP, come on, man.
All right, well, she's getting some outside of the performance screen time, so.
Oh, no.
Could be a clue.
Might be a clue.
They're just teasing us.
Maybe it means something. What are your strengths? Does she have a long tongue? She's an Okinawan attitude.
I don't know what that means.
I do. It means they're late.
What?
Whenever we get together with all the old Okinawan ladies in town, because there's a big community of Okinawan people in Austin, and when we get together with them, like we'll get there most of the time a little late, and we'll be the first people there. And then like Jeanette's mom will get there, and we'll be like, yeah, nobody else is here. We're just here by ourselves. And she's like, Okinawan time. It's fine. People just show up.
I guess my mom's from Okinawa. All right, weird way to say it, JYP, but sure, yeah.
This is just simply not true.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can practice getting into the groove of music.
Yeah.
I think people have been doing that for a long time.
Oh, maybe he means like you can't force yourself to like the groove of a song.
I guess so.
You can practice appearing like you like it, but you can't force yourself to like it, I guess, is what he means.
She just straight up, she didn't get waitlisted. Oh my God. What?
It's because she's got the passion. And
She does.
she can dance. I think
They need somebody who can groove, and they need somebody with a tan.
I think maybe she was almost waitlisted, but her saying like, "Hey, I've never had formal singing lessons. That's why I'm not very good at it. But I think if I were taught, then I could do well." And then I think that's what really sold her there, because JYP was like,
I think
shit.
you're right, yeah. But also, JYP, you didn't read her whole fucking form? Like, what do you mean? Like, it probably says on there if she's had any training.
Right. Oh, Blonde Girl hasn't gone yet.
Oh, so we still need to see. Okay, they were holding out on us.
Yeah.
In her 2nd year and 7th month of training.
Like 2 years and 7 months.
Yeah.
Weird way to say it. I could never do that.
Oh, same. Not without a DDR pad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You stick a DDR pad under my feet, I'm good to go. A lot of people be meeting JYP in an elevator.
Yeah. He just rides the elevators.
You think? Yeah, I was gonna say. Do you think he just like stays in the elevator sometimes and just like rides it up and down? Damn.
What if she was terrible?
I have a feeling she's gonna be like the best out of all three, but I could be wrong.
But to find out.
So far, so good. Dance, monkey. That's what I hear when he's like, "Dance for me." I imagine the scene from Zoolander. They all made it. Woo!
Woo! All three JYP trainees. It's like they, like JYP, like they seeded the, the tryouts, right? They're like, well, what if we can't find anyone good? We better have our people that we've been training for Japan come in here.
I feel for JYP there. Every time one of them starts crying, like imagine being JYP and you're just like, okay, can you go cry in the other room since you made it?
She's gonna try to spread her wings. Stray Kids reference.
Shit.
Huh?
What is it with that? Like it's not just this. Like I do it every time we start watching this. I don't know. My brain is just like, yeah, you know what's going on. You can understand this. No need for subtitles.
I mean, eventually you will get a little used to it, right? Final heats: Hawaii, Los Angeles. Look at all the people fucking looking at this. What the fuck is this guy wearing? May Plunkett. She passed.
Why aren't they showing us these auditions?
Because they're trying to rush to the boot camp.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, wait. No. We have to find out what happens with the on hold people.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about them, to be honest.
She's in.
He's not. I mean, he's not going to go back.
Hey, she passed too. There you go. That was the girl who had previously trained that he called fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, all the people that were waitlisted got accepted?
I don't know about, but three of them
at least
did.
the three that they showed us.
Yeah.
Maybe not all of them.
All right, boot camp time.
Maybe they only showed us those three because they later got accepted.
26 girls. Okay. Training camp. Here we go.
It's training camp time. After the heats. The JYP trainees, do they have to fly out to Japan to audition?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then they flew back to Korea for the next 2 months, and then now they've flown back
yeah.
to go to the camp. Okay. Cool. What are you wearing, JYP? Why do you always
he walks in looking like a
you?
fucking couch.
Yeah. Or like some grandma's wallpaper. Honestly, that looks like an apron, design.
Right.
It's longer in the front.
Pendants are empty.
Like
This is
an
important,
apron.
Tom. Pay attention.
I am paying attention.
All right. If you manage to fill your pendant, you'll get professional training and be able to debut.
How cheaply made do you think those necklaces
Oh, dude,
are?
so cheap. Look at them. They look like they're total pieces of shit. I mean,
Just the way you said it, they look like total pieces of shit.
they do.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, I'm gonna clip that for sure.
okay, Tom, you may have just missed that because you were laughing.
I'm sorry.
There's an assessment, an ongoing assessment where they will vote, where they will comment on each other's personalities.
Oh, shit.
And the trainers and other people that they work with behind the scenes also get to vote on them.
Well, they gotta have good vibes.
Right, exactly. And you have to be willing to like work with people.
Right.
Like if you can't get along with people, what the fuck are you even doing here, right?
Right.
But first, they're going to do a bunch of tests.
This is like a survivor type shit where they can vote each other off the island.
It is a survival show.
But I'm talking about actual survivor. Do they get to keep the necklace if they get eliminated?
That's a good question. I don't know.
It's like a nice souvenir. You know, every time you look at it,
Yeah.
you'll be like, that's that time I failed. It's like good motivation.
Yeah, for sure.
What's with the holes?
Who will receive a triangle, Tom? Who do you think's getting a triangle? First up.
At least
who is it?
The girl with the very white dad.
Nina Hillman.
Yeah.
Hard to forget that name among this group.
I mean, I forgot it, but yeah. How could you mean that in a bad way? Yes, you have a very attractive face. I don't mean that in a bad way. What?
Well, maybe he means like you're not just a face.
Right. Oh, yeah,
You know.
sure.
The lines don't look good.
I'm gonna start using that. That's gonna be my Riz lines from now on. Just like absolute compliments followed by I don't mean that in a bad way. I have not been paying attention to what he's saying.
He's saying that she was not putting her arms straight, and so in certain moves where it needed to be straight across, you could see that it was like bending, so the lines weren't good.
It's like just placing a little seed of doubt in whatever you say. Like there was a comedian, I think, that he's like you should, like, I like to go to parties and like go up to someone and be like, hey, just so you know, I don't have a problem with you being here.
JYP really went hard at this girl, like being like, yeah, your lines are bad and you need to bend your knees more and you fucking use your joints and like all this stuff. And I think he did it on purpose because he's like, hey, nobody else make these mistakes.
Right. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Everyone's waiting with bated breath.
I do that.
To see what a JYP. You wait with bated breath?
No. In class, if somebody asks me a question that I know I know it's gonna come up again, I will answer their question to the class, you know?
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that makes sense. Very smart. 3 of them stood out. Gee, who could it be? Who were the other 2? Me, he was one. Who were the other 2? He's not going to tell me. What a fucking...
I like how JYP studios have to have JYP posted all over them in case people don't know that's where they are.
I mean, in the room where Stray Kids used to practice, the lights literally are the letters JYP.
Yeah.
Do you think that they do special training on how to move their hair while they're dancing? Because like literally
No,
sometimes
I think that's just what girls do. You have no faults at all? God damn.
wow, you're gonna make somebody follow this? You have no faults at all. Everything was perfect. You were perfect and great and everything. Everything was great. Next. Now, the thing when I first watched this that I did not understand is that like this is the first day. Like they haven't been practicing in a room with JYP trainers. They literally like showed up on the bus and then they're like, all right, everybody like warm up because it's dance time.
Yeah. I mean, I've been there. Do you ever do, fuck, I don't even know. Like seatings in band?
Yeah.
When you go into the room and like all the judges are just like behind the wall.
Uh-huh.
And you
behind
just have
the
to
wall. They were just sitting in front of me. What do you mean?
Oh, I never had that. They were always like, I couldn't see them.
Wait, do you mean for like UIL or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you go into the room and the judges are like at a table, but
I never
like
did that.
There's like screens up. So you just have to sit there by yourself and like pull up your sheet music and play the sheet music. And then they're like, okay, get out of here. And then you leave. And then like a few hours later, after everyone's gone through and they've, tallied everything up, then they post the results. And only then do you find out like how good you did,
Yeah. I'll say what instruments we played. We both know, but I think we'll let people guess what they think that we played, because I think it's pretty obvious.
If you know already, don't say it.
Don't answer.
Let people guess. Mixtape.
That's right.
Guessing. Clarinet for who, and trumpet for who.
Yeah, well,
those are two very different instruments.
They are a little different.
Like extremely different.
Yeah, Jeanette, don't talk. Anyway, yeah, I stopped being in band when I got to high school, so I didn't ever do that. We had to do it with the band directors. Like they would, place whatever chair or whatever. But
they would do that, for your actual band placement.
Right. Exactly.
But
not ranking or whatever.
Yeah, like at band camp and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So.
One time at band camp, JYP made us dance in front of him, and then he told this one girl she was perfect, and then made me go next.
Yeah. Sax for Tom and trumpet for Phil.
Incorrect.
That is incorrect.
Anyway, that's the Nizi project. We got to watch a good chunk of it today. Tom, what'd you think? What'd you think?
I'm glad that we need to do this more often, where we watch like like several episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's important because I think that otherwise you kind of lose the thread a little bit. You'll forget who Nina Hillman is. And, what I meant when I said that, by the way, was like, of course, I'm not going to forget a name like Nina Hillman. It's because other people are named like Mako and, and Mihi, Then there's Nina.
Yeah. Hillman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, this was pretty good. I mean, I enjoyed seeing some talent and seeing just JYP be straight up brutal.
Yeah.
It was it was fun.
Yeah.
And
so
I can't wait to see how it goes. I don't think they were very good at explaining it. So they're gonna give them all. They're doing this initial challenge, right? Where they're gonna get like they have to do these few challenges. They got to do they're going to do dance, then they're going to do vocals, then they're going to do quote unquote star power. And then they're going to do another challenge, and then they're going to eliminate people, and whoever's left, they're going to go to Korea to get trained at JYP, and then do like how we saw Stray Kids do an elimination show, do their survival show. Again, so they're doing another survival show after this survival show.
What?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've got like
right. No, yeah, I got you. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah. So they are doing. Yeah, they're gonna do like this.
Build the band.
They're gonna do the build a band here because they have 26 people, and they're gonna eliminate probably a lot of them, at least some of them. And then they'll decide who the final members are in the second half of this. And so, like, when I say, like, that's kind of what I like about this, as opposed to, I enjoyed watching, obviously, the Stray Kids survival show and seeing the group that came from that. Because they picked each other, though. You don't really get this, like, I don't know if any of these people are going to make it to a group. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to miss all of that. So
I think
it's cool. It's cool to see.
Maybe it would have been better if there were like a couple episodes of the Stray Kids survival show dedicated to showing us their journey as trainees at JYP,
Yeah.
to see like
Yeah.
where they came from and where they are now. And and maybe even some more insight into like Bangchan's selection process.
We already know about that because we watched that Dive interview when he found out that Felix just had to do a freestyle dance. And he was like, they didn't make you sing? I had to sing. I had to play the guitar. They made me do everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's, love that. Love that
So
for them.
Mixtape's guess is Tom played the oboe and Phil the clarinet.
That is incorrect.
Wrong again.
You'd think with me being like such a, professed slacker in so many ways that people would just get it right away. I felt like that would be the case because I have, there's a reputation to uphold when you play the instrument I played,
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. If you don't know anything about band.
The other day, I watched a TikTok where this girl was like playing a particular instrument. And it sounded weird. And I forget the context of the video, but I turned to Anna and I was like, I bet I can tell you what's wrong with it. And she's like, what? And I'm like, because I have encountered this problem through playing it. I was like, so I told her what the problem was. And then I was like, how much do you want to bet? I'll check the comments. And I pulled up the comments and all the comments are like, yeah, it's probably this. And it's the thing that I said, because it's like so obvious if you have played this instrument before. If you haven't though, then yeah, you wouldn't understand.
All right. Lock in your guesses. I'm going to reveal which instruments we played in school. You ready? Phil, did indeed play the trombone.
Yeah. And Tom, played the trumpet. Although, I will say, saxophone was my first pick.
Same.
My buddy,
was my first pick too.
My buddy Eric and I, when we went in to try out for band together, he wanted to try out for trumpet, and I wanted to try out for saxophone. But he was told to do saxophone, and I was told to do trumpet, and that's what we got. So.
Yeah, I went in. I was like, I really liked the idea of being able to play the saxophone. So I was like, I want to play the saxophone. And the band director who was there was like, you're Nick's brother, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's my brother, Nick.
Yeah.
And he's 2 years older than me. And he was in band as well. And he played the trumpet. And he was like, your brother plays the trumpet. Maybe you should try this mouthpiece and see if you can make the sound on it. And he like hooks me up with a mouthpiece for a brass instrument.
Yeah.
And then he's like,
for the trumpet,
I think, well, he gave me
a
trumpet.
Smaller mouthpiece.
Yeah.
For trumpet.
He gave me the trumpet one, and then he gave me one for a trombone. And then he was just like, yep, trombone.
I didn't like, so my brother played baritone.
Oh yeah.
And he's also 2 years older than me. And,
Right.
And so, yeah, we were in band together, but he played baritone. But I didn't like how wide like baritone and like tuba and trombone mouthpieces are.
It's a big boy.
I like the tightness of the trumpet. I kind of miss playing trumpet. It was a lot of fun doing that kind of stuff.
Well, I would have missed playing the trombone if my band director had given me my trombone back.
Yeah.
Calling you out, Mr. Frock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say his name. Fuck it. He's probably dead.
Wow.
It was the last day of school in middle school. And I went to go pick up my trombone, and I was like, yeah, I just need to get it from the, locker or whatever. And he was like, well, you're going to have to come back tomorrow and get it because it's locked and I'm not going to unlock it. And I was like, but there's no school tomorrow. I'm not coming back to school tomorrow, and I'm going to high school. And he was like, well, you just got to come back tomorrow. And that did not happen.
Right. Yeah,
and nor did I say anything to my parents about it. So
just didn't get it back.
I just never got it back. Yeah.
I got my trumpet back, but I don't know what I do.
I feel bad now knowing how much an instrument costs. I feel really bad for my parents.
Right. Yeah.
But not that I had like a crazy expensive one or anything, but yeah. Anyway. Yes, how talented we were. I was more focused on playing Dance Dance Revolution at the time, so you gotta pick and choose what you like.
That's the thing is like, well, I mean, I don't know how it was for you, but there was definitely like too many activities going on. Like in high school, you're just trying to cram in so much to figure out like what it is that you like.
Right.
Middle school.
Well, that is certainly what people do.
Yeah.
Not everyone, however, does that. I feel like I did when I was younger.
Yeah.
That's one of the things about like watching these survival shows and stuff. And I see these girls who are like sometimes 14 years old and they're like, I've been practicing for like 4 years and doing all this stuff. And I'm just like, how the fuck how? I don't get it. Because like I did like I dabbled in like every like little league type sport, but I'm not like a sports guy, right?
Yeah.
Like that never really took off for me. And then once I got into high school, I was really focused on just like watching every anime I could. I learned very young how to pirate things on the internet,
Right.
And I played video games like a lot, and that's it. Like I did not try out lots of different things. In fact, as soon as I could, what I took was off periods, so I could leave school earlier. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did my last 2 years of high school online, so I didn't even have to worry about that shit. But my last 2.5 years, technically, I guess. But yeah, I tried out for football in middle school. And somehow made the team.
Wow.
And then I don't remember exactly what happened, but I remember that I was at a game. It was like an away game. And I had to get off the field, but I didn't understand why, because I don't actually know the rules of football. And I think we got a penalty, and then I went and I sat down on the bench, and like my dad came over and he was like, "What's going on?" And I was like, "I don't want to do this. I don't know anything about football. I don't particularly like it. I just don't want to do it anymore." And he's like, "Okay." So
your dad is pretty great that way, where he would just accept like what you say, and he's just like, yeah, what you say.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and you know what else is great is the Nizi Project and Stray Kids and makeastay.com.
True.
How about that?
Yeah.
Always be plugging. That's what I learned today. JYP is going to have a survival show. Better stick JYP in the background so everyone knows it's JYP. Yo,
and
dog.
Make everyone do JYP songs that start with,
naturally.
This is a JYP song or whatever they said. I don't even remember.
Yeah, no, he just said JYP.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what he does.
That's what he do.
I don't listen to every song ever, but when you're listening to the songs here, like 100%, they are always picking songs that have a little JYP at the beginning.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, it's a little weird. It comes through a lot. Yeah. Anyway. It's great. Love it. Loving the show. It's fun to watch. So
Mixtape, you're not doing anything wrong, because in order to hear the JYP whisper, it would mean you're listening to JYP songs. So
JYP produced songs.
Yeah.
He doesn't, I don't think on his own songs, he doesn't go JYP.
You don't think so?
No.
I would.
Okay. Well, you're not JYP. You're not wearing couch upholstery, as a fucking shirt.
Yeah. True that.
And if you don't want to wear couch upholstery as a shirt, you got to go to makeastay.com and you got to follow our podcast, and you can join our Discord, hang out with all the cool people, and guess, things about us, like what instrument we played in high school.
Yeah.
Isn't that fun? That's fun for everyone.
What else do you want to guess about? Like, I don't know. Our favorite colors.
Mine's pretty obvious. Michelle knows it really well, and anytime she does a drawing, I'm just gonna say it. It's black. And she'll do a drawing like of a rainbow or whatever, and she'll include black. And she's like, I made that black because it's your favorite color, Papa.
Nice.
She's a very sweet little girl. Yes. Love her. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So go to our stop plugging and start listening to this. How about that?
Did you hear how adorable that little girl is? Go to makeastay.com, go to the Patreon, subscribe, go to the shop, buy some merch, support Phil's children.
Support my children. Please.